A family broken up, it's been brought to my attention that Jonathan and Susie Lamb are leaving Daystar. There is often a much more complicated and human story going on behind the bright lights of TV and the strong message of faith. This was made very clear when famous Christian media personality Laura Lynn Tyler-Thompson had an honest talk with Joni Lamb that showed the deep emotional reasons why Jonathan and Susie Lamb quit Daystar Television Network. Daystar has been an important part of Christian broadcasting for many years. The Lamb family runs the station and their job is to share the gospel. But this plan took a turn for the worse when problems within the family caused what can only be called a seismic shift. Jonathan and Susie, who used to be important parts of chose to leave Daystar. This made people wonder why they were leaving and how it would affect the future of the ministry. When Laura Lynn Tyler-Thompson and Joni Lamb talked about this part of the Lamb family's journey, watchers were drawn into a story of faith, conflict, and resolution that goes beyond TV. The roots of Daystar, a family affair. The Daystar Television Network was started by Marcus and Joni Lamb as a family business in 1997. Their three children, Jonathan, Rachel, and Rebecca, grew up in the ministry and in the public eye as part of a family history focused on sharing the gospel. Since Jonathan is the oldest boy, he naturally took on leadership roles in the group. He and his wife, Susie, became well known on the network because they hosted shows and were very important to Daystar's world reach. Their appearance meant continuity and the handing off of the leadership torch to a new group of people. Having said that, being in service is never easy. Before Marcus Lamb's death in November 2021 from effects from COVID-19, things had been going well for the family. His death not only left a leadership void, but it also brought up issues that had been there for a while. What happened after Marcus Lamb's death? Marcus Lamb's death was a terrible blow to his family and Daystar's fans. Joni Lamb, who had recently lost her husband, took over as head of the network during one of its toughest seasons. There were, however, some problems with the change of leadership. Sources close to the family say that the Lamb family was under a lot of stress because they had to keep Marcus's heritage alive while also meeting the changing needs of the network. It became hard for Jonathan and Susie to focus on their own ministry goals while Marcus's way of leading and Joni's grief process cast a shadow over them. Why did Susie and Jonathan leave Daystar? People in the Christian community were shocked when they heard that Jonathan and Susie Lamb were leaving. The couple was such an important part of Daystar's character that when they left, it was like an earthquake shaking the network to its core. While the exact reasons they left are still a mix of public speculation and private family issues, a number of important factors have been emphasized. Reports say that Jonathan and Susie were excited to try new ways to connect with a younger, more tech-savvy public. But their ideas for new things and change might not have fit with Joni Lamb's and the current leadership's view of the usual way of running a broadcasting station. 2. How families work. There are some difficulties that only come up in a ministry that is run by a family. Having work responsibilities along with family responsibilities can often cause problems. Jonathan may not have liked Joni's role as the network's mother because she wanted to be in charge and have freedom. 3. A personal call. Jonathan and Susie have said in interviews that they feel called to a new season of service that goes beyond Daystar. They weren't giving up on their family's history when they stepped away, but about following God's plan for their lives. Laura Lynn Tyler-Thompson, who is known for talks that are honest and from the heart, added a new point of view to the discussion. She knows how hard it is to balance service, public scrutiny, and personal faith because she has worked in Christian media herself. Laura Lynn talked to Joni Lamb about how disappointing it was for her that Jonathan and Susie decided to leave. She talked about how strong it is to leave something as important as a family church especially when it means redefining who you are without a legacy. What Joni Lamb said. Joni Lamb's thoughts during the interview showed both the heartbreak of a mother and the determination of a leader. Even though it hurt to see her son and daughter-in-law leave Daystar, she saw their leaving as part of a bigger journey of faith. God has a different plan for each of us. What Joni said. Even though it's hard to let go, I believe that Jonathan and Susie are following his lead. No matter where God sends us, our family will always be there for each other. Her answer showed a good mix of weakness and strength, stressing how important it is to accept God's control even when things aren't clear. How it changed Daystar. When Jonathan and Susie left, it was clear that Daystar's programming and administration were missing something. Many viewers who had grown to love the pair and the network were sad when they left, and some wondered how Daystar would continue without them. But Joni Lamb has made it clear that Daystar is still dedicated to its goal. The network has kept making its most popular shows, added new ones, and increased its efforts to reach new people. The new part of Jonathan and Susie's story. That was when Jonathan and Susie Lamb left Daystar to start their own ministry journey. They've given hints that they want to make digital material and start projects for younger people. Jonathan recently said that he was thankful for his time at Daystar and stressed how important it is to follow God's lead. He said, "Daystar will always be a part of who we are, but we think God is calling us to something new. We're excited about what's coming up and can't wait to tell everyone about it." A story about family and religion. In the end, Jonathan and Susie Lamb's leaving Daystar is a story about faith, growth, and how complicated family can be. It's a warning that even in the most public ministries, people are going through very hard times and have to make tough choices. People who watched Laura Lynn Tyler-Thompson and Joni Lamb's talks were filled with hope that God's plan will stay true, even when things change and seem uncertain. In conclusion, moving forward together, Daystar Television Network will continue to be a leader in Christian TV. Jonathan and Susie Lamb are starting a new season of ministry. Their paths may have changed, but they are still committed to sharing the gospel. The Lamb family still has a long way to go. For people watching, their story shows how faith can move mountains, how strong family can be, and how important it is to trust God's plan, even when it leads you in a different way.